Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, if you are true about that, I'm offended, and if you're joking about that, I want you to know that is maybe the only thing I have an insecurity about.
Well, I will not tell you if it's true or not.
No, that's the worst of both.
All right, so
Like,
if you do check your Twitters, you'll probably see that you have posted if it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, if it didn't work, it didn't work.
yeah, we're live. Hey, I'm on my own Twitter. That's weird. I see myself just how I like it. So now what do we do that we're live?
Oh, hey, Brett.
Do you have to entertain people?
Yeah,
When you said you see yourself, I imagine the Usher meme going like this.
Is that what that means?
I don't know. That's the visual I got when you said that.
Okay. I don't do that as much as you think that I would, but I can do that if you'd like. Is this it?
Yeah. We got, oh.
I feel like,
you have to say "watch this." I think is how it works.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, the three of us combined, we can figure out the meme.
I'm not sure I know this one. Now I feel dumb.
Oh my God! It's from Usher did a Tiny Desk concert and just did a move, and it got clipped into a meme, and that's the end of that story.
I am not cool enough for that one.
Brett is a ride or die homie. Brett
He
is
is.
like, love Brett.
Big Brett fan. Can I have multiple cameras on this?
You can actually.
No way. I can have camera 1, camera 2 on me? That's great news. Wild. I can have 3? Where's my other camera? Oh, well, it's gone. Oh, it's here. So that'll be fun. So while we're doing this show, I should just say, ready camera 1, take camera 1, ready camera 2, take camera 2. And someone will just do it.
Someone.
The AI's got it.
I feel like on most of your episodes, someone's sipping on something. I feel like you should start getting some drink sponsors.
I should. I unabashedly rep Liquid Death more than I should. No, not more than I should. An appropriate amount because they're very good.
I got one for you. This was for Rabba. I'm going to pour one out.
You should try the grapefruit. Just came out. It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Am I cool enough to have it, though?
I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So let's see.
If you know the next meme we discuss, then maybe. You'll level up.
Nice. Right.
Well, I'm lame here. I have water and coffee.
Double fisting, huh? Okay.
Usually, yeah.
Makes sense.
See if I can put a camera on my mic. Would that be fun for people? A really tight
Oh my
jaw
God.
view here. This is going to be worth it.
Well, you have 1 minute, Barry.
I mean, we're already live. This is already content, so. Oh, boy.
Phoenix in the chat. Barry IRL.
What's that?
More people joining.
55 total viewers. So
Really?
Awesome.
see that number in the top?
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
That's
Second
my
camera. Great.
Where do I put it though? Is the question. I'll just use it for hand. I'll just use a handheld. That's fun. This is what the show needs.
Wow. That's
Just
perfect.
Straight up.
Just take. All right. Well, we need to put a placement for your second camera.
So I can't change. I can't just change between it as my thing.
Apparently not. All
That's
right.
useless.
Let us start the show.
It's the DTC Shoooooow! Jump right in, you better get on it fast so you don't miss anything with Robert and Jess. It's the latest news and some random ass guest. All your favorite segments that you are obsessed. Win some merch, be a part of the show. Get your ass up in the chat and let it all flow. So jump right in, there is so much to know. It's your number one marketing show.
Boom.
There we go. My wife in the chat, so Barry, behave yourself, please.
Is my wife in the chat? I told her to join.
Depends on which chat. She's in that secret Slack channel that I haven't told you about.
You have a secret Slack with my wife? Nah, it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't bother me.
All right.
That'd be cool.
Welcome everyone to the DTC show. We have a very, if you're like, who are these people? That's
You better just get out of here. Leave. You might as well leave.
That's because Raba is on slopes in Aspen with DTC Ski. Barry graciously decided to hop in as the guest host, and then we have Akville. There we go. Akville as our special guest, who also jumped in last minute. Super appreciate that, both you guys. Akville, we'll introduce you in just a moment, but
Okay.
I wanted to let people know, because we do love giving away lots of merch here. So we do have 2 merch packs to give away. First is we have this trio of tour shirts from past guests, and we're gonna give those away.
Wow.
And so all you have to do is drop a interesting or funny comment in the chat, and then you'll be included in that. And then Jada will let me know like who's available for that. And then the next one is this custom Hot Flash t-shirt, oversized t-shirt. Barry, do you love it or what?
He's speechless.
I am worried I am going to jail.
So
This is
very limited edition is what it is. And if you're any of the people that have retweeted this show, you could. I told you it'd be risque.
I just didn't even. I'm so mad. Great.
Well, if you're one of the retweeters, you'll be added to the drawing later in the episode to potentially win this.
Yeah.
And wear it proud for sure.
Okay.
And we'll see it on StockX in a few months or something. I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So, Akville, the next segment is all about you. But before we get into, whoops, hold on.
Ooh, 10 seconds.
Oh, she already knows.
Here we go.
I've watched this show. I told
But
you
before we
guys.
get into it, we
Prepared.
paid for these jingles, so
Aren't we blessed to have the greatest guest? Let's hear
Is it
your
on?
story in the
Is it
10
now?
seconds
Okay,
that we
hi.
have left.
all right.
Hi, I'm Akville. I'm the president of Advertise. We are a social media advertising agency in the Los Angeles area, and we work with e-commerce, events, entertainment, and consumer lead gen. Boom.
Whoa!
Time's up, sounds amazing, but we gotta go. If you want to know more, check the description below.
I got to tell you, that bit is much less funny when the guest knows the bit is coming. That
I mean,
bit.
Nick's
killed
was
me.
really great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was impressive. Beat the
Yeah.
bit.
Akville was also here 10 minutes early as well, so she is like more than prepared.
Wow.
But we did want to have you on. You have like, as far as I can tell, an incredible depth of knowledge on the individual platforms, and so we'll get into. There's a segment about that a little bit later. But to start, we are going to move on to the news of the week here.
It's your DTC news of the week, the latest news with a spicy critique.
So we have a bunch of different news items. Anyone up in the chat, feel free to give your comments or concerns or anything. But let's start with Reddit. Was it on Thursday? Did their IPO.
Whoa.
And it took 4. I mean, Reddit is like the oldest like active social network, that's really of note these days. I personally love Reddit. It's kind of like the main social network that I use. So good.
No one hearing that is surprised to hear that about you. You are like the living embodiment of the good part of Reddit.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, because I had to, because like you're not evil, like you're not that part of Reddit.
Yeah. And what's interesting about the IPO is that it like popped off, much more than people expected. But
For sure.
what's like before, I recommend anyone go buy this stock. I think this stock is going to be such a wild ride to own because the people of Reddit love gaming other stocks like GameStop or AMC, or they created the meme stock and they sort of run that culture. And so now they have created their own meme stock. And it feels like if they're pissed or irritated, they now have a way. They've always looked for a way to hurt Reddit when they've disagreed with the platform, and they haven't really been able to. Like sometimes they'll do like strikes or something, but now they have an official mechanism to hurt people's bottom line. So it'll
Or
be
think that they hurt people's bottom lines. Who knows if they actually like have any scalable impact, really, right?
Well, they've had scalable impact on other stocks.
Yeah, of course,
for sure. So we'll see. Akville, do you use Reddit at all?
I do. Personally, not as much. My husband's a huge Redditor, so I usually learn a lot more things and creep on his subreddits, but I do run ads on Reddit for clients. So
currently?
Yeah.
Wow.
How is their ad, how's their ad platform generally?
Not as robust as say Meta, for instance, but it's pretty good. Conversions, not so much. Traffic, lead gen, better on that end.
Yeah, it feels like they have like the interest level targeting because they have subreddits, but they don't know who the buyers are, is sort of my experience.
Right. Yeah, we can't drill down as precisely as we'd like to, but it works for blasting people on a very low cost.
Interesting. What are the CPMs these days over there?
I think for CPMs, trying to think. I think like $1.50. We're paying like pennies, but we're doing traffic, and
yeah,
that's most of it.
Sweet bot traffic.
It's converting. For these particular clients, we're doing consumer lead gen, so they're doing their sales team. They're selling higher price custom products, mostly for homes, and
Sweet.
We're not getting a high volume of leads, but those actually leads are converting at higher closing rates than some other platforms are running on. So it's worthwhile for the clients.
Some really advanced bots. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's worth noting that even if they don't know who the buyers are and there isn't a robust buying pool, it's not like Reddit users don't buy stuff. Like they're still, it's the same pool of people. It's just harder to like identify.
They just do it in incognito windows and VPNs, so you can't track anything
on the dark net.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So this next news item we have, lawmakers see rise in threatening message as TikTok users swarm Congress. So we talked a little bit about the potential ban on the last episode, but TikTok, in an effort to, they kind of like freaked out and put this on the right-hand side that says your voice can protect the community you love, and they're encouraging people to call lawmakers to protect their own self-expression and yada yada yada. And I don't know, was this a good move, Barry?
I think it might be a last-ditch effort. Look, if I'm going to be cynical about this, and I am, I think, first of all, I think it's a kind of weird move because it's, if anything, proving that they have significant impact on the American system, like Americans, in their way to impact the American political system, which, is problematic if it is in fact controlled in some way or any way by a foreign government. And, if you were to believe that, then you'd be believing that the overall bigger problem is the algorithm, the content that's being fed to us as Americans, and especially the youngest of Americans, is particularly problematic. And I do think it is problematic. I also will note, so is Instagram Reels and Facebook feed. Like that's problematic separately. But having it controlled by, if it's indeed,
Our bad guys versus their bad guys.
yeah, right. But like, there are certain, like, if your goal is as a foreign government is to make an entire country lazy and just spoon feed them the most whatever content, or content that makes them anti-work. I don't want to
Yeah.
do this now, but if fun thing about me, I think the anti-work movement, which is huge, which was big on Reddit and then fell
Yep.
apart somehow. I personally, like, tinfoil hat time, personally think there's a big conspiracy. Like, external governments, I think, are very much invested and interested in making that anti-work movement in America popular. Like the bad parts of that, like people
Yeah.
just thinking that they shouldn't have to work for anything, which is also an interesting separate thought experiment. But
Well, it's not like other countries aren't actively like this is Russia's playbook. They've literally published this playbook. They just don't have the TikTok algorithm or access. So not unreasonable to think that that's happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I need to hear. Is like, it's not unreasonable that thank you for enabling me. I appreciate it.
But get vaccinated, seriously, Barry, like for real.
Which side are you on? What side am I on? What am I even saying?
Akville, are you giving any advice to clients about like people who are advertising or worrying that I don't know, like the users are going to leave or there's just instability or the advertisers are going to leave or like what are you doing with or what are you thinking about where this platform is going or how to advertise there?
No one, I don't think people are going to leave. As we can see, people love this platform. They want to keep using it. Our clients aren't worried about it. I feel like the consensus is, at least from conversations that I've had and listened to, someone's going to buy it. It's not going away. Things might change in some way, just as every other platform has evolved over time. I think it just needs to trade hands, and I imagine that's what's going to happen. But maybe it's a behind the doors deal kind of thing where it might be a little sketchy, but I feel like it's still going to be a thing. Clients aren't pulling back. We're diversifying so that if something does happen,
Mhm.
then the businesses that we work with aren't going to fail, and we have other platforms that can keep things going. But I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. I also agree that it will get purchased. My main issue is I know that the sophisticated buying whatever algorithms are behind the scene on the ad side are finicky, and like we know from Meta that code pushes can make things go crazy or whatever, and so this is it's just introducing a lot of like anxiety in users and people, and that anxiety is going to translate into the algorithm and onto the ad side, and also I think it's going to translate onto the Meta side as well, with people, content creator, just pushing more stuff. Maybe they don't think it's going to get bought and they worried, and now they're pushing more content onto Reels, and there's more inventory there, and it's just a lot of inputs to process by Meta in a short period of time. Barry concurs. Corey in the chat. Good to see you, Corey.
Hey, Corey.
All right. So moving on to this next one. This isn't like news or anything or recent news, but Alexa found this ad from Remy where they're taking down Smile Direct Club, who went bankrupt at the end of last year. And whether you believe, like this ad or not, what I think is interesting and always worth remembering is like these titans of our industry. It always seems to be this case. These titans of our industry that everyone emulates and everyone looks up to, their agency, their media buyer, and their ads, and copies their ads and copies their thumb stops. These companies just like go out of business all the time very swiftly. And so it's very hard to like, every time where I'm seeing some like and like a brand catch fire, I'm like, the clock's ticking. What'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this ad is unhinged. I love it. I actually have worked with this client. They are an ad crate former client, I believe.
Remy or Smile?
Remy, not Smile. I've probably. I'll have to check. I don't think I've worked with Smile Direct Club, but I think an agency I used to work at did. So small world. But yeah, I kind of love this, but also in my head I'm like, who is this for? Like, do former Smile Direct Club customers really want to see this? Is this the right way to get them? I don't know. I don't think so.
Right. It feels like if I was like hurt by Smile Direct Club or lost my money, I almost don't even want to be reminded of that. And I don't know if that group is big enough for Remy to be like, I'm going to swoop in there and get all the jaded customers here.
Probably.
Because
but
like, why
I don't
is
think
Remy
this is the
not
way to
gonna go
do it.
bankrupt?
But this isn't the right way to do it. I think if it's working and good for them. But like, I just don't think that's necessary. Like referencing Smile Direct Club, I think is smart. Referencing it this way, I don't think so.
Right. Interesting.
Corey says he was hurt. I was hurt. I'm assuming he meant by Smile Direct Club BTW.
Well, that explains a lot.
Well, Corey, are you going to go to Remy because of this ad?
Corey's got a busted smile, I guess. I don't know if he does. Sorry, Corey.
He's a customer of Mustache Direct Club.
Okay.
Which worked really well.
Covers up his teeth.
Rude, Barry. We don't bully the chat.
Am I bullying? I don't even know. I don't even think that.
Wow.
I don't know what's happening.
Unbelievable.
Oh, Corey, I'm sorry.
We'll have to block that out. All right, moving on to the next one. This is a two-part news item, which I thought was interesting because it happened in the same week. So we have Untuck It opening 14 new stores. So we have this D2C brand creating their own sort of retail experience. And in the same week, we have Outdoor Voices shuttering all stores and now shift to online-only model. So I see this all the time. I see both these things happening all the time, and I don't understand if this channel works or is it just money being deployed places. Or I've personally never been to like a D2C experience, but Barry, you're in New York. Do you ever like see this stuff?
I have absolutely been to an Untuck It store myself.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I have bought stuff there for sure. So it is really Corey's prediction is great. That's really funny there. Untuck It shutters 14 new stores in 2024. I don't see that happening. They've been growing. I did a little extra research on this and like saw that they had to shut down their stores in 2020, but I don't think they closed any of them like permanently. Yeah. So to me, it's like, I think there's something fundamentally to the experience of like needing to try this product. And I mean, I can't say why that's different than Outdoor Voices, but the thing I think is interesting, this is a kind of a hot take and maybe really stupid, but I think it is, there's some validity to this. I think that seeing the name Untuck It literally on a wall, on a sign for a guy driving by, like it's an ad, it's a billboard for like what it is, and it immediately registers and you know what it is. You have an idea of what it is, or you have an interest in what it is, or maybe you've seen the ad before and you're like, okay. And so I think there's some validity to that. Plus guys, surprisingly, I think do like to be able to get stuff and feel stuff in store when they need it or like when they want. So I don't know, because I know Bonobos has had good success with their stores, or they're not really stores because you shop in them. They're I forget what they call them. You just try stuff on and then you order it online. I hate that.
Yeah, that's awful.
And then compare that to Outdoor Voices, which for me has, by the way, I switched hats to my testing things hat because that's it's an Outdoor Voices the ripoff idea because their thing is doing things. Yeah. Right? Doing things, I think. But I've always thought this about Outdoor Voices, that the name is confusing to me, and that like literally the sign outside just says Outdoor Voices, which always makes me think it's an outdoor, it's an out of home, like advertising company that promotes podcasts or something. Like it makes no sense to me, and I really do think, I genuinely think there's a principle in retail or in retail business where if you can have a sign of the biggest sign on your business be what you're selling or what you have, and then have your brand below it, you might actually do better. Like I've always felt this way about like businesses I just walk around in New York, the ones that say pizza, you know, in size 9,000 font, and then say their name below it, versus like Angelo's. Like, you know, if people don't know what Angelo's is, they're not going to care to go in. But if they see that it says pizza,
they're not going to go into a store that says athleisure either. You know,
but they don't. First of all, I actually don't know if that's true. And second, I would wager they could say something that is more clever or more relevant than that, right?
Like pizza, yeah.
Like pizza. Like the most comfortable outdoor, you know, clothing brand, right? The most comfortable outdoor clothing. Like, instead of having to be clever about it. That's
you might not be the demo. So Akville, what's
I'm not the demo.
I would walk into athleisure if that was the
okay.
store. With Untuckit, man, like I'm not the target demo for that, but I would say that's aggressive to open 7 stores that are the initial launch. Maybe 1 or 2 big cities.
Oh, this is not the initial launch.
But it says the first 7 stores.
No, the first 7 of those 14. They have 80 stores.
Oh, sorry,
I
misread that.
80 or 90 stores already.
All right,
sorry about that.
Good luck to them.
That is misleading. That's a very misleading headline there. Sorry about that.
No worries. You didn't write it, or did you?
No.
But yeah, with outdoor voices, I feel like the outdoor apparel, activewear, athleisure, like that's such a saturated market where, like, I've seen them. I've gotten some gift cards for them, but it didn't really. I think it was just like their overall marketing strategy didn't really make me choose them over some others. But with Untuckit, like, I know what they do. I don't buy their shirts, but like I know what they do. I've seen them online everywhere, and I feel like they're very distinct for what they do. So.
Yeah, that's a good point, because with the outdoor voices, you could probably go a block and find athleisure, higher end athleisure, where Untuckit is a gimmick to a certain extent, and there's only a few places you can get that.
Well, you know, other things we don't know is just like anything about their financials. Like, we can say whatever we want here. I can say whatever I want about their signs, right? But what it comes down to is their financials, who invested in them, what their growth goals were, what their profit was. And Untuckit, again, I did some research, has been profitable for, I think, 2 years now. Like, as a company.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. And, you know, if you're not doing everything right as a brand from an advertising perspective, a marketing perspective, a business perspective, then growing more into retail isn't going to necessarily help you. But I do know of a lot of brands where it does really help. So it's an interesting, it's really interesting. I'd have to think more about what Outdoor Voices was doing financially that wasn't working here, but I bet you it was a lot of things that they probably could have been more risk averse about.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of the news. We're going to move into our next segment, SaaS Survivor.
SaaS Survivor, there can be only one software provider.
We can do this pretty quick, but each time we do this show, we have this fixed list of 10 SaaS tools that, like, if we were starting a company tomorrow, like, these are the tools that we'd want to use to help run our business and our life to a certain extent. We're happy to take suggestions from the chat or from you guys to add stuff. But for everything we add, we need to remove. For example, I've been using Air. We just got signed up onto Air, which has sort of replaced Google Drive. Oh, there it is. There's the merch.
I breathe air every day, and I use air every day as well, and I'm not paid to say that.
So, you know, Barry or Akville, is there anything on this list that you would add that's like important to, you know, servicing your clients, running your agency, anything like that?
I feel like people don't talk about it a lot, but I would not be able to be where I am and as efficient if it wasn't for Toggle.
Toggle.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about Toggle, because I don't know Toggle.
It's a time tracking thing you can do desktop or browser. And I track everything from emails to phone calls to like everything I do for work. And then I do a lot of consulting as well. So I get it down to the minute, like where did I spend too much time and where can I either charge more or become more efficient or, whatever it might be. But I love Toggle.
So how does it, because I've gone down a little bit of the rabbit hole with time tracking, but I don't want to add this other admin layer that I have to record. So how does it not get in the way, I guess?
It saves everything. So I have all the clients and a lot of the tasks are just repetitive. So I just literally press stop and go and select which client it is. And it takes me 2 seconds and I can run reports, for if I'm doing consulting, I'll look back monthly or mid-month or whatever it might be and be like, where am I spending too much time? And, some of those days where you're like, I feel so beat, I've done so much, but I've maybe like, what did I accomplish? That kind of gives me a better perspective, being a business owner, but also working with clients.
Okay, so since that's time management, I'm going to take off Fantastical and put Toggle on there.
It's actually TOGGL.
Of course it is.
Extra cool without the extra syllable.
That's how they got the domain, I'm sure. Bear, anything to add or remove?
Yeah, I would remove most of these. You don't need any of these. No, I'm just kidding.
Two hands.
No, I feel like, have you had CapCut on here before, and would we call that a SaaS?
Yeah, we've had CapCut, but Canva sort of reigns supreme over CapCut.
I mean, they're unrelated.
Corey agrees.
Yeah, Canva is fantastic, and CapCut is too. I'll tell you what, Creative OS.
Oh my God.
Self plug. Creative OS. Go get my Ugly Ads Creative OS pack. Go sign up.
All right,
So,
I
stick that
am
in there.
All right, just to irritate Rob, I'm gonna take.
Yeah, take out triple L.
Yeah,
please take out triple L. Oh, you can't take out Fermat. I would not replace Fermat. I would not replace Fermat.
All right, no.
Let the record
You're right.
Take out triple L. No one needs that. I'm just also kidding. I use triple L.
Creative OS. What is that?
Creative OS. What is that? It's a lot of things. Oh, and I should have. Oh man, I had another one I should have said. Creative OS is you can go and get packs of like Figma templates, and I think they actually are transportable out to Canva now as well, of ad styles. So you can get a bunch of like kind of generic ones. You can get ones from me. I made 50 ugly ads. Nick Shackelford has 50. So there's a bunch of different a bunch of different of us that have packs of ads that you can go get. But now they also do done for you ads, and I think they're just doing static ads for now. But if you just need some new static assets created for your brand, just ship it over to them and they'll get you stuff real quick, and like it'll be something different than what you already have. So I think it's a fun. I think it's definitely worth it for a lot of brands that just like need something new, fresh, different, and like quick. Right. I think it's a slam dunk. And then they also have like now a monthly service that I don't know. I don't work for them, so I don't know what else what else it does. But you should definitely go get it.
All right.
Someone's gonna yell at me for not doing giving good enough explanation of the ongoing service.
All right, so moving on to the next segment here.
If it looks like autopsy and it sounds like autopsy, then it's the DTC show.
Well, we have a good chunk of Adtopsy already here. Oh, I can't hear. Can anyone hear Barry? Can you hear Barry?
Did you see my lighting? Sorry.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. No comment.
Well, why don't you do it again for the people in the back? Because it seemed very special and you really like that.
You want to do it now?
Yeah. Do it again. Wow.
Yeah. My co-working space neighbors probably love this.
You inspired me. I've got some hue lights here, but you can't really see it as well with my window.
Uh-oh. I'm getting pulled over.
Wow. A special guy, Barry. So let's take a look at some ads and see how they could be improved. We got a whole bunch coming up from Barry's
like
brand.
gummies. Alright? So when I end up, you know what I'm saying, trying to stay healthy and still eat candy, these are literally a game changer, and I'm gonna show you. Tell me, not even a full one. That's a real sour gummy. And look at these calories. 110 for the whole bag. I'm sold. I like gummies. Alright? So
So Barry, why don't you explain this brand a little bit? And did
Sure.
you have a hand in any of these?
The brand is Rotten. I'm repping it right here on my shirt. They are amazing gummy worms and sour gummy worms with 60% less sugar than the leading brand. So we found this kind of Goldilocks zone that we want to be in, where we're way less sugar than the main gummy worm brands and candy brands, but like way less disgusting tasting than brands like Smart Sweets. So, you know, we kind of found this middle zone that we want to live in, and we also like have this awesome branding where I have some right here, where it's just like you don't look like a nerd or you know some
It's like
weirdo
liquid
health.
death adjacent.
Yeah,
branding.
Yeah, exactly. So it's delicious. Everyone should try it. And I did not really have a hand in this ad except for maybe trimming it a little bit. But like we're just, you know, got some stuff from some people reviewing the product. And so sometimes we're just like, screw it, just throw it in. And that's what you probably see here. So we haven't edited this clip. We haven't taken this clip to use it for other things yet, but we just kind of put it live to see how this guy does. And then we'll go from there. We'll do some edits with this and mix it in with some other creators probably.
So there's a few things that I think this ad does well, and a few things that I don't think it does well. I think you have the, I think you have the right guy, the right look. I like that he doesn't have a shirt on.
Yeah,
That's a theme on this show, huh?
It is. Well, if you're looking to stand out, and it also looks more authentic. He's the type of guy that I don't even know if he owns shirts. He doesn't look like he does.
Yeah.
But what I don't like, and this is really hard to pull off, is I can almost tell. I don't feel in my heart that what he's saying is authentic or true.
Yep.
Especially with this first line. Here, let me just play it.
I like gummies. Alright? So when I end up, you know what I'm saying, trying to stay healthy and still eat candy.
Like it's like to stay healthy and still, it's something about that is like a little bit inauthentic to me. And so like that just like sits in my brain as I'm watching the rest of it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like I agree with you. And you know, look, the funny thing is like when I'm given an asset to run, I'm going to run it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm going to, and that can be expensive. And I have some ways like I like to diminish that, but like I have to get it in the market and see what it does and see how wrong I can be about that. Cause like I 100% agree with you. It doesn't feel good to me. I imagine it won't feel great to a lot of the audience. But you know, just off the bat, it has just performed, I would say, differently than some of our other assets. And I wouldn't necessarily call that good or bad, but just weirdly differently than some of our ads. And I think that's because I think the system hasn't found the right audience yet for it. But you know, Jess, you want to guess the hook rate on that one?
I'd say it's pretty good. The hook, you know, he doesn't have a shirt, and I need to understand what's going on here.
I like that. That's what you're focusing on. To me, this is the thing that I think is a bigger attention grabber than the shirtlessness is the camera angle and the lighting and the setting. To me, is like this is not an ad.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Until he says I'm trying to stay healthy and whatever, and then it's like it is an ad. But a
little. But there's other bits I think later on in this video that we're going to be able to make good use of. But because I agree with you, I'm not sure I feel that opening hook.
Akville, do you work with creators for your clients?
Indirectly. We don't manage creator relations, but I do give recommendations sometimes on hooks and other things that they can pass along.
It is very difficult. It's kind of an art working with and finding creators because you have to recognize that they're not actors. So sometimes you give them a script, they can't pull it off. Or sometimes if you write a script that's too far from what they'd naturally say, they can't make that work either. Here's another one.
Delicious. But Leading Brand versus Eat Rotten, I mean, they're literally more sour. They're fire. These ones, I mean, yeah, whatever. But the Rottens, better texture and everything. More sour. Just really good. I'm telling y'all, you gotta go try these. Hit up Eat Rotten, get some gummies. These are delicious.
So this is the same one as the last one. Like I love his look. I love the unnatural camera angle. Dude, don't say Leading Brand. Who says that? That's like that's like a dead giveaway that there's like a script here.
That's funny you say that.
Yeah.
Because you're right, but that's not my problem with it. Did you have another big problem with it? Because like I had a big glaring issue with this.
It just his pacing is a little slow.
Yep.
It's a little. It's
There's an echo.
I love the sound. I love that the sound is garbage. I'm such a big Make Ugly's audio.
I know.
It's so.
It sounds
good.
like he's in the bathroom.
There's a dog running around. You can hear it. The pause. But my problem is that he like negatively reacts to what is clearly a good gummy worm, which is just like not like, come on. Like like I'm trying to like when I frame this, like if I'm going to eat a trolley gummy worm, I'm not going to put it in my mouth and chew it and be like, oh, that's disgusting. Cause it's not, right? It's not bad. It's not mediocre. It's not average. It's good. Right.
Yeah.
But like if I were to put a Smart Sweet in my mouth, I genuinely hate how these taste.
Mm-hmm.
And that reaction would maybe make sense because it's a low sugar thing. So me reacting negatively to that, I think is fair. But reacting to the high sugar, known good product that everyone does like, right? Like it immediately makes this person's opinion less valid. And I was just at a creative house this week with Ad Crate, and this was a big thing we were talking about. Is like, you don't need to crap on a good product. If it's a good product, you can say it's good. We can be better or we can be similar and have a different selling point, right? If we can be as good as Trolley or comparable to Trolley and have 60% less sugar, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So
he could be like, I love trolleys.
Yeah.
Until I found these, and now I'm like, I get everything I want from Trolley, but with whatever.
Yeah. And that would be so much more believable. So even if he did say Leading Brand, which I love your point on that, Jess, even if he did say Leading Brand, which actually, Jess, which would be less authentic? Him saying Leading Brand or him saying Trolley, but it's bleeped out?
Why would you bleep it out?
You know, lawyers. I don't know.
If I don't know, a brand that like Eat Rotten does not sound like it should have like lawyers on retainer at this stage.
But and yet just because you don't think Liquid Death has lawyers, like what
they do now, but like at some point you have to like take more chances, and you're in that stage.
Yeah, no, I mean I do agree. I do agree with you. I was just curious.
I think you get more engagement if you bleeped it out.
You think? Yeah.
People would be trying to guess what it is.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah. Could be any brand.
Here is another one.
I'm eating some rotten original gummy worms.
Look at these.
So good. I like that they're sweet, but they're not too sweet. The fruit flavor is like very natural. Like it doesn't taste fake. But they don't have any weird artificial sweeteners or sugar alcohols. They're sweetened with allulose, which is a natural sweetener that comes from
fish. He knows so
fish.
much about it. It's crazy.
60% less sugar than Sour Patch Kids or normal gummies. They taste like normal candy, though. Still indulgent, still sweet, still fun. This reminds me of a lot of fruit snacks and candy that I remember seeing as a kid, but was never allowed to eat. Rotten gummy worms. These are really rad. Check them out. Today I'm eating some rotten.
They're rad, silly, and indulgent candies. That should be your new slogan. Um, so
Very,
I get this is another one. It's like perfect looking dude, but it feels like he's trying to hit some bullet points that are just so inauthentic, not to like people in general, but to him in particular. Like he looks like some basement dwelling pothead. Like I want to hear how that guy would explain these, not like silly and indulgent candies.
Yeah, I love that feedback, and it's something I'm for sure working on with this guy.
I like this guy. He shows it. He shows in the bag. Like, I want to know how much is in a bag. I feel like a lot of things are, you open a bag of chips and it just seems like there's less and less, or candy, and then you're getting less for the dollar. So I like that you can see there's a good amount in there.
Then just so you know, like as with any of us, like even myself included, like this guy Josh is working. He's like trying to get better at this, and like this is not normal or natural for him. So he'll probably see this. I'm probably going to share this with him and give him this feedback, and then we'll go and make a better one. And like that's the game, by the way, and that's the only way we get good at any of this is this kind of feedback and thinking about it. So, but I agree. I do. Jesse nailed it, by the way. Like I love this angle, this lighting, and his look. Like I'm like, this is so spot on. But we need to like figure out the language better. Like figure out what's being said better. What would you say? What would you want to have him say if you could feed him a line? Chat, you can join in as well. What would you want to hear this guy say?
I don't know. I don't know this guy. Like I feel like there's phrases that he would say that are I don't entirely understand, but like that's what I want him coming out of my mouth.
All right, we'll have to figure that. We'll have to work on it, I guess, Jess. I mean, like, but it's funny. Like, look, I mean, I obviously put you on the spot there, but it's just to anyone, it's hard. It's hard to like find the balance of like what is authentic to what he would say and what needs to be said to make a good ad, and finding that overlap is a challenge.
I think if you were referencing older candies, I think he could like not remember what it was and get frustrated that he didn't know what it was, rather than like, cause that's what I expect from this guy, to like have like a poor memory or something, The other thing that's really difficult, and I know this because we have some brands that deal with food, is one emotion that's so difficult to fake on camera is a taste test. And when he's like, that's what like everyone does. They just like nod their head and they're like, that's so good. And that's like, that's never a sort of natural reaction. And so it's real hard to do taste reactions very well, unless you're like an actor or something.
I don't know. I feel like okay. I don't know. I get fired up. I just like.
Right. So we'll go to the next one, and
cutting right to the chase. Send me some worms. 110 calories per bag. 8 grams of sugar. No artificial sweeteners. No sugar alcohols. Go to eatrotten.com.
Barry, did you make this on the
Send me
list?
some
pretty
worms.
simple.
I did not. I don't think I gave him much direction or any direction on this, and I was really impressed that he did this. What do you think of it? I'm not going to say whether or not it performed well right now, but what do you think?
I don't
Akville,
love
what do
it.
you think? No, why?
I'd like to see people. I mean, it's creative how he did it, but seeing somebody on camera just makes it much more, I connect better than I feel like a lot of other consumers do. And this does seem like, this is an ad. It's not as naturally flowing as some other influencers or content creators might create. I don't know. It just screams ad to me.
Yeah. Sometimes there's like, depending on where the customer is in the funnel or stages of awareness, it's okay to
That's fair.
be an ad. I think this kind of does a good job of that, but I do agree you're not fooling anyone that this is like some native content or something.
Yeah.
I think I actually love this. I don't love what's on the Post-its. I'd rather these be something silly or fun or like not going straight to 110 calories per bag, 8 grams of sugar, no artificial sweeteners, no sugar. I think it needs to be more about how it tastes, how it's, fun, how it's cool. Like click the like, yeah. I want it to be almost more meta, but I really love how it's shot, with what it says. Like, there's a lot about that actually really does work well to me, and it like makes you want to keep watching more. Um, and yeah, kind of yeah. Probably, I almost look at this as maybe more of a hook than an ad itself.
Hmm.
There's one other thing I was gonna say about this.
It goes a little too quickly over the gummy parts. The sandworms, I had to
Yeah,
look at it a few times to see what did he actually spell out.
you're right. Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but it might make someone watch again. Oh, and to your point, I actually like, and look, this is a big nugget, big free nugget for anyone watching. I've had good success recently with ads that are from a, let's just say my point of view, that I'm not in.
Hmm.
And I generally agree about like humanizing and having people in the ads like to be relatable. But I realized I can be human and have human relatability just by showing my hands and me manipulating and talking and breathing about it. And that way, I, d- I don't have to look a certain way that people then have to navigate whether or not they find that to be relevant or relatable to them. The setting is what's relevant or relatable
Yeah.
to them. And I have had some scalable wins with literally me shooting
Yep.
forward of something in my
So,
hand.
so,
Um,
so what I like about this one is that there is a very subtle reference to a particular demographic that knows the term "send nudes,"
Yeah.
and so it's like doing that as well, which is certainly objectionable, but it's a wink to that type of thing
Yeah.
as well.
I think there's other things we could better say
Yeah.
in worms than that. So like but I think this format is fun and worth us pursuing again, but with maybe some better copywriting.
Pumice in the comments made some good comments and recommendations too, and had a question for you since it's your client Barry. But are they supposed to be stronger than regular sour candies?
No,
Okay.
they're manageably sour, but quite sour.
But one thing he says is like, if someone said that they were debomb.com, and the reason why I like that is because no one would write that into a script because it's so cheesy. But the right person could, like, if someone said that, I'd be like, you may be a super dork and a loser, but I believe you're being authentic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're certainly not a loser if you say that. So let's move into
I just
one.
got this text from my
This is one that we did. And I won't say if it was a winner or a loser. You can try and tell me afterward. But here we go.
So I just got this text from my daughter. I guess she's a vegetarian now. We're basically carnivores in this house, so challenge accepted. I opened my emails app to do my grocery shopping for the week, and I simply chose, let's see, smoky Southwest stuffed sweet potatoes.
2 clicks later, the ingredients were sent to my grocery store and they were ready for pickup.
With emails, I don't have to go completely plant-based to add something new to the dinner table.
Emails. I'm a busy mom. I don't have a ton of time when it comes to meal prep and grocery shopping and cooking.
I am constantly on the go. Because I'm so busy, I tend to eat the same 4 or 5 things over and over.
I needed to try something different.
And then I discovered
it just goes on and on and on from there. And that's like half of Fireteam is actually in that ad. But any thought? What I really liked is this particular hook. But does anyone have any thoughts on this ad in general?
I like it, but it could be 4 ads. I feel like everyone has it's long enough where you can splice it up between all of those different people and their different pain points.
Yeah. It's a problem we have is making long ads for sure.
That's not a problem. That is a feature, not a bug. Long ads, man, they're great. If people are going to stick around, let them. Give them a good reason to. Sorry to disagree. Well, not sorry to disagree. I love to disagree. But yeah, I think that's great. There's one of my favorite things to say is there's no such thing as an ad that's too long, only an ad that's too boring. And this ad is both long and boring. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, do you think it was a winner or a loser?
I think it's a winner. The hook's really good.
I think it's a loser. I think the tech. Look, I'll happily be wrong. I'm sure I'm wrong, but I also thought it said emails. And I was like, you're emailing to get your food? Which is funny to me. Emails?
You're actually both right, because it had the best hook in the account, but it was also a loser. But to be fair, like, it was the way it was tested, it was put into a cost cap testing environment and got $40 versus other ads which got over 100,000. So it's hard to say if it was a winner or a loser, but it did not rise to the top. I will say.
We can have a side chat about that one. But can you play the hook again real quick with audio? How many? I'd like love to see, and like I'd love to show you all the other ones, like the ones we just reviewed of mine. Like I'd love to show you other versions of those, and I'd love to see like what other versions you did of this, because like to me, you lost me as soon as you did the text message overlay.
Yeah.
I don't think that was additive. That pulled me out of it. It made me feel like this was an ad. This was inauthentic. I would have rather seen a screenshot splatted on there.
Good point.
So I just got this text from my daughter.
You already took me out of it. I was in. I was in, and now I'm out.
You're so right. All right, so enough of this ad topsy. We got a few minutes. I'd love to get into a segment here, Akville. So I'd love for you to explain what this image is to the right, and what do you think's going on here, and why people should pay attention, I guess.
Is there a song for this segment?
No, because it was a last minute guess. I apologize. There's no song for your segment.
No worries. It's okay. Shout out to Kyle Harms. He actually shared the screenshot, but we've been having some issues with some of our e-com accounts where we have all of the creative optimizations disabled, but it's still showing the AI backgrounds on some catalog images, even though they're all turned off. So I tweeted about that. And I was like, what gives? I told my meta rep, and he's like, oh, I didn't know that was even the thing. So turns out after this conversation, the client that I work with that is having the issues is a shoe client. So the backgrounds are somewhat relevant. Those sandals with a blurry lawn behind it. But this one Kyle shared from one of his accounts, and it's a toque, if you're Canadian, or a beanie. It's clearly a winter hat, but on a beach doesn't quite make sense. So what we've done, we all had a conversation. It turns out there's a kind of a buried setting in Ads Manager settings at the very bottom, where there's another button that's Meta auto selects to test optimizations on your creatives. So
at the account level, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
I was about to say, hey, that's definitely what that is.
And it says 5% chance or something that they might run some optimizations on it, but I've deselected it to see. We haven't seen these pop up in the wild again in the last 4 days, so that might be a solution if you're also getting some weird, irrelevant AI images on your catalog images.
Yes, wow. Still working through the bugs with AI, I guess.
Well, the thing is, the juxtaposition, unfortunately, like, what if it just works?
Don't even.
No, look, guys, I'm serious. Like, I'm not trying to make the argument you think I'm trying to make, but if the system has data that suggests that for whatever reason, this is getting more people to pay attention, right?
But you need to pay attention for the right reasons, though.
Yeah.
I agree, but I also, like, what I'm trying to say to you is that, like, is it that wrong of a reason? Is it that wrong? Like, people might not even really consciously be aware of it. Like, maybe this is a bad example because it's such a juxtaposition, but like, I live in Brooklyn. There are absolutely people who wear beanies to the beach. So I don't know, but like, it might just be triggering enough subconsciously that it'll get someone's attention. They'll be like, oh, that's a cool looking beanie. And then they ignore that it's a beach. It doesn't even like, maybe it's just in the front of a backdrop. I don't know. And I hate this point that I'm making, but my point is,
I get your point. It's valid.
This is the problem. This is the problem we face when we give over the keys to automatic optimizations,
right?
And it's going to try and fail and try. It's going to have to, and sometimes some unfortunate things will be happy accidents, and this could be one of those.
I'd love it if they'd also gave me some breakdown reporting on those different optimizations, which they don't. So it's like press this button and like hope for the best. But I get it, but some brands really don't want to be portrayed in certain ways like this, where it clearly doesn't
Right.
make sense. But with others that are a little bit more, lax on some rules internally, that we've seen that they're like, as long as the data shows that it's performing well, so be it.
Yeah, it should really be a control knob, not an on-off switch in terms of like Facebook optimizations. Like you should be able to say like, yeah, go crazy, or you should be able to say, all right, do what you think is going to be best, but don't go crazy.
And
like this is too much.
You're right about the reporting, because I could see like you could be like, go crazy, get as much performance. But if you could look back at what worked and what didn't, then you're learning, and then you could parlay those learnings into other things. But if you have no idea, then you're just letting Meta control the brand like entirely. All right,
that's what a lot of people want. They don't care about the brand; they just care about sales.
Yeah, it's called short-sightedness. Yeah,
I agree. I'm not in support of that. I'm not coming out as.
I'm just saying that's okay. All right, I got you, Barry. So let's give away some merch here. 1 second, of course.
Brett did just call out.
Chat so fresh, chat putting in work. Who in the chat is gonna win this match?
Okay. What Brett say? I can't. Someone's arm is in the way. I can't see it.
Oh, the issue is it's buried in the ad account settings. Who looks there? ? Not an obvious toggle in the campaign ad creation process.
And I think I don't think it's turned on by default. So I think someone probably turned it on thinking like, oh yeah, I want some more performance. Great. And then this is what happens.
I checked in all the accounts and it is selected there, and I'm the only one that touches it, and I did not even know it was there.
But you don't know that. Someone else could have touched it.
Meta touched it.
Someone on the client's end could have touched it.
All right, so this 3-pack, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. Let's give it a spin.
Where's the Barry shirt?
That's next. And Barry, I'll send you a Barry shirt. Chris and Haley, well done, well done. All right, and then let's do this one more time with this beautiful bad boy here. Barry, you're gonna wear this, right?
I don't think I would wear anything in that color. So that's the first part where you lost me. But then on top of that, it got worse.
Make him a purple one.
There we go.
I don't want any of this.
All right,
but I love it.
Let's see what happens.
Brett's cross fingers. Let's go, Corey.
Oh my God.
I'm excited for Corey to wear that.
Maybe next time. So that concludes the show. Thank you, Akville, for hopping in, and Barry for hopping in as well. Appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I cut. Oh my God. Corey, you already won. You won one. So you're good.
But Corey Dobbin is not Corey Donbin.
Oh, right. We'll send it to Corey Donbin, see if it gets back to us. So before you go, Akville, one thing we do is we have you do the intro. So I'll come in and be like, we had a great show. And then I'll be like, Akville, tell us what we saw. And then you can sort of run down the segments very briefly. And then we'll put that in front of the YouTube.
Wait, sorry. On that list that's right here?
Right. Yeah, on that list, you can run down that list. Be like, we did Guess in 10 Seconds. That's me. We did DTC News of the Week, where we talked about, like, just choose one thing. I don't know. Just do your best.
Okay.
All right, ready? All right, here we go. Welcome back to the DTC show. We have a very special substitute episode. We got a substitute host. We got a substitute guest. Akville, tell people what they're going to see today.
You can see about the Guess in 10 Seconds. That's me. DTC News of the Week. SAS Survivor. Ooh, we took some big ones off. We added some new ones in, like Toggle. Adtopsy-ish. Talked a lot about gummy worms. Won't want to miss that. And some other things. And then Ack and the Ack accounts. I like that. Something just I popped up on Twitter with Kyle Harms and Harris and Jeff. And win some amazing merch. You won't want to miss it. You have to watch till the end because you will want a copy of that t-shirt.
That was a lie. Thank you very much, and you'll enjoy it. Okay, now I'm going to end the broadcast, and I'll see you guys in the green room. Thank you for the chat for sticking by, too.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.